Hello everyone and welcome back to The Legend of Kong. My name's Cody.
And I'm Clue.
And today in the adventures of The Legend of Kong we've got a giant beaver which you may have experienced before, Food, because you are from Canada.
This is true. I am from Canada. My hometown proudly displays a sign which keeps score between the city management and the Beavers. I think this last season it was 8-0 in favor of the Beavers. So
I wonder if this game's a metaphor for it. Like, these bananas are all of the tax dollars, and the beaver's just running off with them.
Yeah, actually, we should talk about that because we kind of missed the one cinematic that this game has on offer at the start of the run, where the story was established in one quick scene, where Donkey walks into his banana hoard and sees that all his bananas have been stolen and decides that he needs to quest for his bananas back.
Mm-hmm. So what's the deal there?
The deal with?
What's the deal with people taking his bananas? Like, why won't they leave him alone?
Oh, okay. So, so K. Rool, the king of the Kremlins, for whatever reason, he has an animosity with the Kongs. There's a lot of fanon about this. There's probably some sort of major conflict between Cranky and maybe K. Rool's ancestors in the past, but for whatever reason, the Kremlins and the Kongs don't get along. Their islands are right next door to each other, as you'll see on the world map for Donkey Kong Country 2. You can see the Kremlin's home island from the Kong's home island, and they're just in constant conflict. So K. Rool has come over in his pirate ship, and the Kremlins have poured out onto Donkey Kong's island, and they've taken his bananas and they've hidden them. And that's Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, and that was Winky the Frog.
That was Winky the Frog.
That we never talked about. But yeah, Winky the Frog, his controls freak me out because I expect the jump to not work when he's bouncing, because I sort of think of him as Cranky Kong, I guess, from the newer Donkey Kong Country ones, but no, his jump just it works wherever he is. Well, if he's currently jumping or not, it still lets you jump, which is nice because it would have been frustrating otherwise. This is the infamous, or probably famous, but the infamous minecart level that started the minecart levels. Why are there minecart levels?
Well, Rare's first major property, or at least its most famous or infamous property, prior to being bought out by Nintendo, was Battletoads.
Yeah.
Battletoads is kind of well known for its extreme difficulty, and particularly for the difficulty of its auto-scrolling levels. So there's a number of levels in Battletoads which look exactly like this. I mean, in concept, you jump into
except with toads.
Yeah, exactly. Jump into a vehicle which starts speeding off to the right, and you're just expected to know exactly when and where to jump.
Yeah.
So this is just a callback to those kind of classic moments in Battletoads, but it's almost as frustrating. In fact,
right. And by classic moments, you mean bad design?
I mean absolutely terrible design. Yes, that's exactly what I mean. This is what is often referred to as Nintendo hard level, in that you're not actually problem solving, you're just learning a pattern and executing it.
Right. It's trial and error for, oh, I died this way last time, I need to not die this way next time.
Exactly. And that also means that this is really the first time in the game that your lives are going to come into play.
Yeah.
And one thing that you may or may not have noticed is that you're stuck in World 2 here. You have no way to go back to the previous world and save your game at Candy's place.
Yeah. And that was, you'd brought up before asking me what I think the purpose of Funky Kong is, and I guess that would be it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So Funky Kong gives you a way to move between worlds. And that actually creates some interesting conflict in the design of these overworlds. Basically, this is the distinguishing characteristic of the DKC overworld from the Super Mario World overworld. Super Mario World had a life system, but it was almost entirely meaningless. You could get a game over, and that would mean that your progress was lost, but for the most part, even 6-year-old kids tended to realize that once you passed Donut Ghost House 1, which was the first save point that you could easily return to, you could just save your game whenever you wanted. And at that point, the life system just became totally, meaningless.
Right.
So here, they did want the lives to be a little bit more meaningful, since they're rewarding you with lives so often, like they just did there. And they do that by periodically. I keep missing that balloon though. Yeah. So they periodically remove your ability to save the game, and that puts these stretches into the game where you have to beat multiple levels at a time in order to make your progress count. You're in the middle of one of the more brutal ones right now. That is actually the worst jump in the level.
Yeah, but at least I got the Kong.
You got the Kong.
And I also got a bonus stage, so it's a vast improvement technically over the last video. Even though we covered like 10 different levels in the last video, and we've covered like a beaver in this episode.
Oh well. And you got to meet the frog. He's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so this creates some interesting overworld design challenges. In particular, how Funky and Candy are placed within the overworld determines how long these stretches that you won't be able to save are. Because Funky also represents the ability to save your game. If you access him, it's just as good as accessing Candy, because you can just fly back to a previous world, save, and then fly back.
Yeah. Yeah, if I don't talk much, it's because I'm really not wanting to get stuck on here for an entire episode.
Yeah, I mean, Rare knew what they were doing with this level. They knew that it was a niche kind of level, and that not everyone was going to like it. There is actually a level skip that you can access right off the start, but unfortunately, as soon as you grab the center checkpoint barrel, you don't have access to that level skip before. So you're in the fire now. You gotta deal with it.
Well, I keep getting, I think, relatively close, but there's that one jump that I've missed every time, and that starts happening. It's what happens when you die a bunch of times. You start dying in increasingly stupid ways. I noticed that from well, actually, Super Mario Maker is a good example of everyone getting the chance to be a game designer and seeing where people die on their stages. A lot of people die to really stupid jumps later on. Like, at first they're like, oh yeah, no, that's easy. But then they run right into the pit. Because they're trying to hurry back. And here we go with our first game over on episode 2.
That's not too bad. I think probably everybody who played this game in '94 had that experience of a game over when they reach this stage. It's just a little bit brutal.
Yeah, that's all right. But let's find this beaver again, just to get revenge against the beavers who terrorize your hometown.
Yeah, well, I'm actually kind of on the beaver side in that one.
Because they're fighting the government?
Yeah, exactly.
And sticking it to the man?
Sticking it to the man, and, like, the places they're active are, like, the tourist trappy places of my hometown. I live right next to a major ski resort, or I grew up right next to a major ski resort, so there's a natural animosity for the people who just come to live on the weekends.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip the video to when we get past this level, which I'm not gonna make you watch this level again. And welcome back to the mines.
Alright, so we're not going to live that terrible insanity again. You're just going to jump right over that barrel and just fall into the hole right in front of it. You went too far.
Oh.
You just want to fall like right down, right beside the edge.
I did it.
Yeah. See, this is kind of the sort of thing I was talking about last video, where I said the game's going to really reward you for exploring, but the kind of exploration it's asking you to do is at times absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
In fact, Nintendo Power, I think for Christmas '94, their promotion was that you could write in and they would send you a VHS, and it had all of these. Oh wow, we get the On Guard bonus round. This is a treat. So these bonus rounds serve no actual game purpose. They don't count towards your score. They don't do anything except, possibly earn you a couple extra lives. But they're just absolutely delightful. You're missing them.
I'm missing all of them.
And the goal is to try to find the giant golden On Guard if you can.
All right. So there's a golden one hidden somewhere.
Well, I mean they're all golden, but there's a giant one hidden somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And if you can do that, you will be richly rewarded with many extra lives.
Alright, well, that sounds like fun. I'll try that. Though I'll probably miss all of them. Alright, sorry, we've got like 30 seconds left to find it. Is it in the same place every time?
It is in the same place every time, yeah.
Do you know where it is?
I do know where it is, but I've kind of lost where you are. It's just, you just have to move through one of the walls on one of the edges, so I don't think you're gonna get it here.
That's alright,
That's okay.
I got a couple of lives from it, which I'm gonna need because I'm in the mines. Oh, it put me back at the start.
It does, that's kind of nice. Got there.
Nice. Oh, that level was easy. I just zoomed through it. Oh, I said that and then they tricked me. There we go.
Perfect.
Ooh, that was hard work doing that whole level, wasn't it, Fu?
Absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so level skips in general, they're really interesting from a designer's point of view. It's weird to reward a player by making them play less. Like, it made sense in the old arcade days, Super Mario Brothers 1, where you had warps, because every time you loaded the game, you were playing from World 1, and it was okay to skip some of the middle levels, because you would just end up playing those levels over and over and over again anyway. But once we have overworlds and save games, the philosophy of giving you a level skip is a little odd. Here it kind of makes some sense for that level in particular, because that level is such a pain in the ass and so poorly designed, that I understand why Rare did it here. But they get into this habit of including level skips, and in fact, in both DKC 2 and 3, every level in the first two worlds is skippable. They give you skips as discoverable rewards for like 20 levels in both games.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm
sure speedrunners love it.
They do, yeah. If you watch a low percent speed run of either game, then you'll see pretty much nothing but level skips for the first 10 minutes.
Look, this isn't even a hard part of the game. I'm just like messed up from that minecart level, and I'm making basic mistakes. It's probably the filter. It's probably that there's a brown filter over the game right now. That's what's doing. Yeah.
Well, this is
the same trick got me again.
The second weather effect or filter that we encounter it's darkness. We already had rain earlier on.
Yeah.
And both of these are pretty cosmetic. The third weather effect that we'll encounter is snow, which is a lot more meaningful and affects the game a lot more critically. Oh, I was so scared for you there.
Oh. That's alright. I'm fine. Yeah. I'm not mad at all.
These tires are brutal. They're one of the places in the game where we really suffer for poor hitboxes. And the poor hitboxes in general, which we see kind of throughout the series, it's unfortunate, are just a result of the way that these games are being created. So the models are, as Cody referenced earlier, in 2.5D. So Rare pre-rendered the models on a graphics workstation and then imported them into the Nintendo engine. That allows the game to look like it has a lot more depth than would normally be offered by the 16-bit processor. At the same time, it does mess with the hitboxes of the Kongs, the enemies, the animal buddies, and the
Yeah, skip that save point.
Yeah, well, hopefully that works out for you. Yeah, so the hitboxes are a little bit messed up, and they're going to stay that way, unfortunately. That's just the price that we're paying for these fancy graphics that are way ahead of their time in 94. I think you actually despawned a few there. There's supposed to be two, I think, so there you go. Sweet tricks.
Yeah,
RNG manipulation.
I did it on purpose.
Yeah.
It's because I know so much about the game. I was
Right,
like,
exactly.
hey, I can despawn these enemies.
Secret number 2, you're throwing this low percent away.
Oh, it's Winky the Frog. Our good friend Winky the Frog. Winky the oddly named frog. Let's go back into the secret. Hey, it's Winky the Frog.
Yeah. So, it's kind of worth talking about how the development of this game came about, because we've referenced
Yeah, who's
Rare's...
good at hopping now? Who's the hopping king now? It's Winky the Frog.
Reference...
Who's the falling king now?
Oh, and you missed the save the center point.
Yeah.
That's so sad. Yeah. That's okay, we'll see Candy after this.
Practice makes perfect.
Practice makes perfect, exactly. So Rare's past success, like Battletoads, which were done independently, and then led us to this point. So the situation here in 94 is that Nintendo is kind of falling behind. They still have a 16-bit console, but Sony and Sega are quickly rushing towards the first PlayStation and the Dreamcast.
Sega does what Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly. And the 64 is still 2 years away.
Yeah.
So Nintendo wants to stay relevant, and they have a couple of market strategies to help them achieve that. And one is that they hire, or they actually buy a 49% stake in Rare, because they know that Rare is working with this modeling technology that we mentioned, where they're importing 3D models to give their games a more futuristic look. This isn't the only thing that Nintendo's doing to get through the console war. They're working very closely with Square, and they're going to publish the 3 great RPGs of the 16-bit era: Final Fantasy VI, Super Mario RPG, and Chrono Trigger. And that's kind of a watershed moment in gaming itself. But as far as targeting the younger audience is concerned, DKC is is an absolutely critical part of the strategy. How many lives do you have?
0.
0. Yeah. Okay. It's okay.
Are you ready for 2 game overs in one video?
That would be a little disappointing. But you got it. I have full confidence in you.
Thanks, that's gonna make it so that I die. What could possibly go wrong? Alright. Now we got an extra hit here. Which is the other way of describing Donkey Kong. And over here we've got who's this? It's Winky the Frog.
There you go. Now you can get hit 3 times.
Yeah.
As long as you don't jump off.
As long as I don't jump off the edge again.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Bounce
Nintendo
game.
buys their 49% stake in Rare, and so Rare becomes Nintendo's second party and is suddenly on...
Winky just makes it harder to get across there.
Suddenly on a path to ascendancy to be probably the most important second party developer in the world. you know, from the release of this game probably until the release of Halo, when Bungie might take the crown.
Yeah. Or at least until they got bought by Microsoft and then became absolutely useless.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. But yeah, so they get Rare gets access to the full catalog of Nintendo characters, and they immediately decide that they want to make a Donkey Kong game. And Donkey Kong had been kind of floundering at this point.
Hey, it's Winky the Frog.
Frog. Hadn't really had a major new entry in something like a decade.
Yeah.
And certainly was never conceived of as a platformer game. So this was quite the experiment. Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
Close enough. Alright, so it was quite the experiment.
Yeah, and it's, you know, interesting the way that Nintendo kind of changed their relationship to their own property as a result of the success of this series.
Yeah.
It's doubtful that things like Super Smash Bros. Or on our side of things, the Minish Cap, would have existed if this game hadn't have been such a success.
Yeah. Oh, I press. Here we go. Let's see if we can get this bonus thing.
No problem.
Which is probably going to send me back to the start of the level or something, then I'll die.
Very nice. So the interesting thing about the bonus rooms, that only applies to TKC1, is that completing the mini games within the bonus rooms actually doesn't add to your score at all. Do you want to save the game?
Yeah, let's stop here and we'll do the next episode.
Well, how about this? Turn around and walk backwards.
Oh.
And now go finish the level.
There's zombies.
Yeah, if you hit the barrel, they're gonna stop.
Oh, that's nice of them. Whoa, 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 ah. Alright, well, in the next episode, we're gonna do that.
Okay, we can
See you
actually
then.
play the level.